So this is the tool I use to install the stairs and mainly the treads, because I couldn't really caulk this the seam here. It had to be, I mean, within a 1/16 of an inch, otherwise your eye kind of sees it. So I have basically a 1/16 on the inside. The problem is this wall, even across this, I think it's 11 and a 3/4 inch step, is not exactly the same between both points. So this point and this point might be whatever, say 35 and 7/8, but over here it'd be, between these 2 points would be 35 and, I don't know, 5/8 or something, say that. So I had a lot of problems at the beginning using a tape measure because it bends, you know, around the, let's see if I can do this. Anyway, most people know how this works. It's a pain in the ass, and you can't ever get the right number. So I marked the stationary piece, and I marked the movable piece. I cut them down just out of old pine I had laying around. Ripped down the, squared up the edge in the miter saw, and then you take this other edge, you butt it up against the face, and then you mark the point. And that's what I took and transferred it to this tread that I laid on the table over there, so I marked it. I said, in this case I put, this one is top and bottom. This is the tread kit, but I put B and F, so front and back. And so the front measurements say, so I know I'm going to always push it to the front, and then do the same thing for the back. System, butt it, and then butt that one, and then mark it. And the problem is that this wall is not square along this entire edge to that wall. So this measurement from front edge might be 35 and 7/8, and this measurement from the back side to the other side might be 36, say, or 15/16, or some. And nothing, no stupid ass cut was the same. And you know, you could scribe this. The problem is with scribing, when you have two interiors, you got to cut one edge, right? And you got to fit it in there so you know what to scribe. Unless you have another sacrifice piece, when you scribe it, you know, you lose that material. So then you have a gap over here because the whole thing is going to shift. So this seemed to be the easiest way. I didn't destroy any treads, but I certainly cut some that were shorter, and this is actually like 35 and 5/16, and all the way up the top it's 35, and I think it's like 5/8 maybe at the smallest up there. So it kind of tapers, and I think a lot has to do with that, with the mud of the wall. You know, as you drywall, you kind of mud a little bit more, especially up here where there's a roof. You know, there was a floor up here that you couldn't get up there, you know, and mud that properly. So for the treads, with the risers, we do the same thing. You see there's a gap here. I'm just going to caulk this after I paint it because it is white, but I couldn't really caulk the horizontal edge between the tread and the wall, so that's why I did a little wood putty, and then I'll sand it down before we stain it and finish it and all that stuff that needs to be done. I can tell, like, this one has a sizable gap, so I have to caulk up there, and in that realm, I think, you know, that was, I think, later on in the day type of cut, and we needed to just move forward. So, you know, in some cases you can get away with things. In other cases you can't, I guess. It's not how many mistakes you make. I guess it's how well you hide your mistakes. It's what one old woodworker said to me. He probably got it from another guy too. They said that. So, I mean, first time ever doing something, you're just gonna make probably a lot of mistakes, and you're gonna hate yourself for it, you know. But just kind of work through it. In this case, the steps are all the same height. The stringers were done right. I used heavy-duty PL caulk, which is like this, you know, the blue tube, heavy-duty, liquid nails, sorry, and then nailed them down with 2-inch brad nails. And if you can see here, here's the tip too. Like, you can probably see this hole, and There should be another one. I'm sorry. There's one, and you probably can't see it. It's very tough. There's one, and then there's another one, right? Well, we got smarter as we went up because now you don't see that third nail. We nailed behind the, when you put this on after you put the tread on, put the riser on after, so you nail right where the tread is, or where the riser is, so you don't have a third hole to fill. So the first couple, we went to town on, didn't think. So that's one tip. Try to hide your nail holes, behind the riser. I couldn't get from behind the basement, what do you call it? Stairs, because it's already been drywalled in. If I would have done this again, I probably would have put the treads and risers in before I put the drywall in, because that would have saved me finishing time on the stairs. I wouldn't have to putty them, at least on the nail holes. But again, the edges, you just can't get it exactly to fit. And I didn't want to make a skirt board. I didn't want to make a you've probably seen a bunch of little cuts of molding, like baseboard molding. You can do that too, but I have a rounded bull nose, so that was more complicated because I can't butt that right up to there. I'd have to cope that, and I don't know, it's painful. Stairs is finished woodworking to the extreme, and I understand why people sometimes this is all they do is stairs. I mean, they call it the railings and the newel and the balusters. The assembly, the process is called, I think, balustrade, which is new to me. It's super hard in terms of just making sure you're not going to screw up too much where you can't replace it or you can't fix it. So that's it. We got it's probably been 2 weekends worth of work between putting the treads and the risers in and dry fitting the balusters and the newel post. Get another weekend of putting in this baluster, newel post, securing it properly, and then staining, finishing, clear coating, all that stuff. The one thing I forgot to show you was what I used to. These are Home Depot timber lock. They have a tiny head on them, which is nice. You can get a half-inch plug that head so you don't see it. That's what I'm going to do on that newel right there. Nail through the sides and then nail one through the stringer. That's why I got 8-inch. I just measured the total length of the post and how much meat it was going to bite into this wall. I made sure when I framed this little knee wall that I put another stud behind here, so that 8-inch screw. That's why I left this one kind of proud. So I have to cut this post down, so this is just temporary. But put 2 through here, probably 2, and then another 1 or 2 this way. So all in all, this is going to take me, I would say, 4 weekends of actual work. I don't work 16 hours a day or nothing, but 8 to 12 hours a day with a lunch break in there probably to do a whole staircase, cutting it, installing the surround, doing the tread risers, putting in the balustrade, the newel posts and everything, measuring. Again, the first time I've ever put in interior stairs, so I'm sure all the guys out there that do this more than once in a lifetime can do it much faster. But hopefully it looks good when it's all done, and then I'll post some videos. Anyway, we have stairs at least to go down to our basement, which I've never had before. I've always had to go through the garage, which is right there. So, all right, that's it for now.